On the last episode of YouTube Poop Retrospective, I talked about Walrus Guy at length and how he helped to shape early YouTube poop. Inevitably, if the discussion is on Walrus Guy, it has a strong chance of pivoting towards Deepercutt. Deepercutt's influence is arguably greater than Walrus Guy's, just based on how much longer Deepercutt managed to stay relevant throughout the evolution of YouTube poop. Deepercutt created YTPs from early 2007 until late 2015, leaving a noticeable footprint on the YouTube poop canon. But before I get to that, I would like to ramble a bit about gathering information on YouTube poop's history for this series. It sucks. One of the reasons I'm making this series is because there's no consistent source of information for YouTube poop. The YouTube Wiki archive is terrible, and navigating the forum archive sucks even more. My only source of information is going through comments on old videos, talking to old heads, and constantly revising and fact-checking through incessantly asking those old heads questions. I'd like to personally highlight a comment from the Walrus Guy video here. While I deeply appreciate this comment and the insight given, info on Yamino, Alex, and Duke of Fortune Man are sparsely available. These creators mentioned either got taken out by YouTube Old Yeller style or were only known among the originals who they were inspired by. If you, the viewer, know anything about YouTube poop, please leave a comment or send me a message directly on either Twitter or Discord so I can get information as accurate as possible. Thankfully, tracking the history of Deepercutt is much simpler. Most of the information is readily available. Deepercutt got their start on YouTube in late 2006 and started uploading YouTube poops a few months thereafter. Not counting collabs and other odd uploads, Deepercutt had 92 videos on his channel. Currently, the most popular YTPs from Deepercutt are Revenge of the Madman, a classic Spider-Man 2 YTP, Shut Up, a Sonic X YTP, and a Resident Evil 4 YouTube poop simply titled Resident Evil 4 Deepercutt Edition. Before we get into the heavy hitters of his catalog, let's cover his first YTPs. Like many other poopers from this era, they got their start making YTPs of either CDI game cutscenes or the old Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoon. Deepercutt went the opposite route of Walrus Guy and decided to make his first poop of the Super Mario World cartoon, simply titled Football is for Eggheads. Like many first attempts at making art, this YTP is extremely crude and rudimentary. Deepercutt would later remake his first YouTube poop, refining it while adding his idiosyncrasies found later in his catalog. This would pay dividends as the remake quadrupled the number of views the original has. Seeming as he quadrupled the production value, well, maybe not quadruple, but you get what I mean. This value correlates. It makes sense.
What do you have to say now, kid?
The remake had visual effects that were possible due to YouTube Poop or Sony Vegas, unlike the original, which was clearly done in Windows Movie Maker, or something similar. What set some of the big poopers during this era apart from the rest of the pack was their aptitude in advanced editing software. Most people jumped into YouTube Poop with just the CDI footage downloaded from the classic Quebec Gamers website and plopped that stuff right into Windows Movie Maker.
Where do I have the wiki fits?
Luigi.
Windows Movie Maker is limited, to say the least. While this lends early YouTube poops their charm, you couldn't composite anything complex. Deepercutt wasn't a particularly skilled or talented editor by any means, but understood the kinetic energy that YouTube poop required to be entertaining.
Going down, you backstabbing prick! Shut up.
For the time, his editing was considered advanced. Let me tell you, editing software wasn't cheap back then. There was no Adobe Creative Cloud. You either had to drop a few hundred on Sony Vegas or one of the CS variants of Adobe Premiere. Alternatively, you would have to know how to surf the waters of Pirate Bay to get a good copy of either of these. And back in 2008, those waters were rough. It was Rootkit City. Deepercutt's output and improvement led him to become the most subscribed YouTube pooper. Deepercutt was the leading figure in YouTube poop from 2007 to 2010. Outside of the quality of his poops, the sources he used may have led to his popularity. One thing becomes immediately evident when viewing Deepercutt's catalog. They love to make Sonic YouTube poops.
A holo projector? This reeks of cum.
It accounts for 15% of their catalog of sources. Jackie Chan Adventures and Super Mario World cartoon take up about 9% each. Deepercutt also has an appreciation for anime and Japanese culture. This is more immediately evident with his picture being Matasuki from Yume Nikki, based by the way. Deepercutt would weeb up his catalog with a few One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube poops. Due to Deepercutt's edgy and crude humor, something that facilitated YouTube poops culture at the time, these poops gained an even bigger audience. His output of YouTube poops would be consistent until about 2012. In 2010, Deepercutt would release their most popular poop, Revenge of the Madman, a Spider-Man 2 YouTube poop. This was the landmark achievement in Deepercutt's catalog, and is considered to be their best. It featured all the best aspects of Deepercutt, the sentence mixing, the appropriately timed censor jokes, and his particular brand of reversals.
I'm responsible. For what? For what happened to Uncle Ben. I had shot him.
Spider-Man triple action web blaster.
There are a few reoccurring gags that make this poop a masterclass in the genre. Things like
Pizza time.
Peter's scream and sound effects that subvert your expectations. Using Spider-Man 2 as a source elevated his stylings. The film had a unique quirk about it imbued by the film's director Sam Raimi, who set out to capture the feeling of the comic books from the 60s and 70s. The scene where Peter and Doc are fighting on the building is just free ammunition for YouTube poop. There's so many dumb things you could do here.
Butterfingers.
Revenge of the Madman was Deepercutt firing on all cylinders. I'll be coming back to this poop a little later in the video as it serves a more significant role. For now, let's skip ahead to the end of his catalog and touch on some of his work in collabs. Deepercutt's last uploads were few and far between. He would individually upload his contributions to Orpheus FTW's King of the Hill collab and Skooks Part 5. A couple of years later, he would upload 2 unfinished YouTube poops, 100 Years of Jackie Chan and The Joker Meets Trevor Phillips. I know that sounded weird and I probably didn't say Joker right, but yeah, whatever. It's a dumb name. Fuck you, Deepercutt. Like the title suggests, these poops are unfinished. In between segments for the poops, he provides commentary through text interludes on what he intended to do next. Deepercutt didn't want to let these videos go to waste, and I think uploading them unfinished was the right move. Brief side tangent, but I would love to see commentary tracks from creators for YouTube poops. I want to see some of the creative process articulated by the artists themselves. I have a deep appreciation for commentary tracks in films. They provide so much invaluable information about the filmmaking process. It would elevate YouTube poops in the internet culture canon even further. Let me know if this is a good idea, and if so, tell me what YouTube poops you would like to see commentary tracks for. Deepercutt's catalog has volume and variety. He uses many different sources and doesn't let any one thing overstay its welcome. One of my favorite poops from Deepercutt has to be Shrersh, a TMNT YouTube poop with some of the funniest sentence mixing from this time.
Turks, green, smelly turks.
Air, man!
Now that I've done a primer on his catalog, let's dive deep and examine Deepercutt's style under a microscope. When the topic of styles and poopisms come up in conversation, Deepercutt is often touted as being ahead of their time with how they approached YouTube poop. Deepercutt's particular style can be easily described as abrasive, quick, and punchy. In most of their poops, there isn't time to breathe in between edits. It's a consistent cacophony of sights and sounds, a la to what popular YouTube poop would inevitably become. Deepercutt's editing style is rapid and kinetic. It keeps its pace ramped up only to sometimes stop with text interludes as brief but funny commentary from Deepercutt themselves.
It's a terrible
Deepercutt's most used poopism in their arsenal is the reversal. The reversal is arguably one of the most ubiquitous poopisms in YouTube poop, but Deepercutt's reversals are usually used when something is in rapid motion. One thing to highlight is how they masterfully evade making reversals overstay their welcome. I can't recall the amount of time a YouTube poop depended on constantly reversing a sequence for its gags. It's an all too common trope that poopers trap themselves in. Deepercutt might be responsible for the ubiquity of this poopism. However, they clearly set the gold standard at the time for how to use this poopism. As I've covered before, Deepercutt has an aptitude for sentence mixing. It was a cut above at the time, and it really elevated most of his work.
You know, Luigi, living in and hell can be good for your shit.
Another ubiquitous poopism that he used is adding false censor beeps to give the effect of characters spewing profanity. This might be the second most used poopism in Deepercutt's arsenal.
I'm sick and tired of Sonic my butt. Either Sonic gives us that emerald or I'm going to him.
It is the comedic crux for most of
Shut up!
Deepercutt's second most popular YouTube poop. I've mentioned it multiple times previously, but Deepercutt loved using more profane humor, most of the time laden with sexual innuendos. YouTube poop has always carried a more risque reputation, and it probably isn't too far of a stretch to infer that Deepercutt may have had a hand in building this reputation. Although in fairness, YouTube poop has always been about radically warping the source material it uses. Making something shocking or unruly for comedic effect was oftentimes the main prerogative for poopers. Deepercutt also had a penchant for YTPMVs. YTPMVs, or YouTube Poop music videos, were an offshoot birthed out of syncing and pitch shifting sound bites from sources to music. Deepercutt would often find himself breaking out the music in his poops.
Bebop! Rock, steady! Rock, steady!
Deepercutt hasn't uploaded in 7 years. The last 2 things they uploaded were unfinished poops, containing text intermissions explaining what was missing and the creative direction the poop may have gone in. Unfortunately, Deepercutt no longer has access to their YouTube account, as it was revealed on his sparsely active Twitter. In 2010, Deepercutt held a Q&A on his Twitter to answer some questions. In this thread, he revealed he hasn't touched or opened editing software in, quote, a very long time, but expresses that they miss making videos. Deepercutt still keeps in contact with other YouTube poopers from that era. In 2020, he tweeted at Walrus Guy, who goes by the handle NAveryW on Twitter, about clearing up any animosity from the past. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I've always loved your work back in the YTP scene and I really miss it. I'm sorry if there was anything that ever felt negative between us. I didn't touch on this because it really isn't important in retrospect, but there's always been somewhat of a supposed rivalry between Walrus Guy and Deepercutt. Deepercutt was, in his own words, a mean kid on the YouTube forums back in the day. It's looking unlikely that Deepercutt will get their original account back anytime soon, so seeing another project from them seems extremely unlikely. Deepercutt has a legacy all his own. The mystique around Deepercutt continues to elude fans. He doesn't make himself too visible nowadays, but the fan remakes of his work only confirm how influential he was on this genre. In 2020, Pooper Corndog Ninja would recreate Deepercutt's seminal Spider-Man 2 YTP, Revenge of the Madman, using HD footage and adapting the poop into an anamorphic aspect ratio. The fact that this poop was lovingly recreated in the same vein of, say, something like Vinegar Syndrome or Criterion doing a new film transfer really illustrates how deeply embedded Deepercutt is carved into the DNA of YouTube poop. YouTube poops are often remade by the creators themselves, evidenced by Walrus Guy animating his first YouTube poop, Link Gets Cancer. However, to have a fan carefully recreate a poop with newer, better footage, and have it be pinpoint accurate lands Deepercutt a place on the YouTube poop Mount Rushmore. YouTube Retrospective will return in January. Next month is December, and you know what that means. It's Flashcember. While that's quite different from YouTube poops, stick around as I'm going to be talking about some things that are kind of adjacent. But when we do return in January, I'm going to be visiting more classic creators along with some more popular ones as well. If there's anybody that you want to see covered, let me know in the comments below. If you really like this series and this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment. I have to actually put the engagement callouts in the video now, I'm sorry. It's just, you know, how you play the game. But engagement does matter a lot, and if you really like this video, I'd like it if you left a comment and subscribed and shared it around. And there's going to be a lot more of this. It's pretty much an endless well of information that I can shift and parse through. So get excited for that. And I might have some other things that are adjacent that I can serialize as well. March might be all machinima. We'll see. I'd love to be able to do it, but doing like 2 specific blocks in a row sounds pretty hectic. We'll see. But thank you for watching. Brofist, I don't know. I don't have anything. Fuck you.